Hello, welcome back. So in this part, we will discuss about the chemical composition of the cement. So there you can see in the table, cement is composed of CaO. This is basically the lime, silica, and then this is alumina, and this is iron oxide. So these are the composition which is in the cement. Then this is magnesium oxide, and these are the alkali, or we can say these are basically the impurities. And then this is sulfur trioxide. So we will learn about the function of these oxides which are present in the cement, and their percentage content is shown here. So lime is basically about 60 to 67%. So there you can see in cement around 67% is lime. Then there is silica composed around 17 to 25%. Then alumina is about 3 to 8%. Then iron oxide 0.5 to 6%. Magnesium oxide is around 0.1 to 4%. And then there is alkali. This alkali is basically the impurity. With the raw materials, there are some impurities come into with them. And during the clinkering temperature, although most of this alkali is fused off in the clinkering temperature, but still some impurity remains. So the main impurity which remains in the form of alkali is basically potassium oxide and sodium oxide. So this is basically not desirable, but they remains there. So this quantity should not exceed more than 1.3%. And then there is sulfur trioxide 1.3 to 3%. So we will see what is the role of these chemicals in the cement. So if we talk about the lime, so this is basically the main ingredient of cement, and we know its percentage is about 60 to 67% of the total ingredients. And deficiency of this lime can cause the decrease in the strength, as lime is mainly responsible for imparting the strength. So if it is in the less quantity, then cement may be less strong. While if you provide lime in excess, then the cement may get expansion, and which further gets disintegrated. So that is why excess lime is also not desirable. While if you provide less lime, then it may have less strength to the cement. So that is why we have to see the particular percentage of lime we provide in that manner only. Then coming to the silica is responsible. Well, during the manufacturing of cement, I explained in the kiln, during the clinkering temperature, silica combined with the lime, and it makes some complex compound. I will discuss in detail about them in the next slide. So those compounds are basically calcium, tricalcium silicate and dicalcium silicate. So these two compounds are formed by the silica when it combines with the lime. And these silicates, which I just told you, that is tricalcium silicate and dicalcium silicates, these are mainly responsible for imparting the strength to the cement. So excess of silica will add the strength to the cement, but at the same time, if silica is in excess, then the setting time of the cement setting time is basically the time in which cement gets hardened. So this setting time will be increased if you add the silica in excess. Then next is alumina. Alumina forms very complex compound with the silica and calcium to impart setting. So by using calcium, silica, and alumina, the compound that is formed is basically C3A, which is tricalcium silicate. So if a large quantity of this alumina is there, then what will happen? Cement will set very quickly, but at the same time it may weak the it may make I mean it may weakens the cement. Then next is the iron oxide. So iron oxide is mainly responsible to impart color to the cement. It also helps in adding strength to some extent and hardness to the cement, again to some certain extent. Then we have magnesium oxide. This magnesium oxide is also responsible to impart the color to the cement, and it also helps in adding strength and hardness to the cement to a certain extent. Then we have sulfur trioxide. Sulfur trioxide, uh, the presence of sulfur trioxide in the cement makes cement sound if it is present in the small quantity. So sound cement means cement which is of high quality. And if I say that if this sulfur trioxide is in the excess, then it may make cement unsound. Now, unsoundness or soundness of cement is related to the expansion of the cement. So if the cement is unsound, then cement will expand abnormally. So if you manufacture, if you construct any structural element using the cement concrete, then they may get expanded from their original dimension, and which will be very difficult to work with. So that is why the quantity of sulfur trioxide should be in the limited form. Then yes, as I was telling about the alkali, large quantity of alkali, basically sodium and potassium oxide, they are carried away by the flue gases during the clinkering. But however, a small quantity is left behind, and this quantity may cause one of the defect which is very general in concrete, which is called efflorescence. So this efflorescence can be caused due to the presence of alkali. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the oxides present in the raw materials when subjected to high clinkering temperature, oxides, these are the oxides that I'm talking about: calcium, silica, alumina, iron oxide, magnesium oxide, sulfur trioxide. So oxides uh, when these oxides are present in the raw material, and when they are subjected to high clinkering temperature, then they recombine with each other to form some complex compound. So these complex compound are mainly the four compounds: this one, and this one. So these compounds can be abbreviated as C3S, which is tricalcium silicate, C2S, C3A, and C4AF. So these are the complex compounds which are formed during the clinkering temperature. So these compounds are first recognized by R.H. Bogues, and that is why sometimes they are also known as Bogues compound. They are also known as Bogues compound. So in this, as you can see, as these are abbreviated by C3S, so C is mainly stands for CaO. Okay, and as these are three compounds, then it becomes C3, and SiO2 stands for S. So in short form, this is the actual chemical formula of this compound, tricalcium silicate, but in short we can say C3S. Okay, similarly in case of C2S, in case of C3A, which is tricalcium aluminate, and in case of tetracalcium aluminoferrite, so it is represented as C4AF. So these four compounds will be, I will talk about them more frequently in the next slides. And these C3S, C2S, C3A, C4AF, they are also known as alite, belite, cellite, and phthalite. So this C3S is alite, C2S is belite, and C3A is cellite and phthalite. So basically these are basically the minerals and their composition matches with these tricalcium, dicalcium, tricalcium aluminate, and these four compounds. So that is why they are also known as the in these name also. So in this you can see a chemical composition of a typical cement in which lime is present as 63%, silica 20, alumina 6%. And if we know the if we know the percentage of the chemical composition which is present in the cement, we can easily calculate the quantity of these four compounds using some equations which is being given by the R.H. Bogue. So Bogue has given some equations. So if we put these value into those equations, we will be able to calculate the quantity of these Bogue's compound. Okay, so this is not a general range. It is a typical range for a particular cement. The general range for C3S, C2S, C3A, and C4AF are can be around this. So this range, if I say the range of C3S vary from 45 to 55%. Okay. Similarly, dicalcium silicate, the range is varies from 20 to 30%. And then aluminate, it varies from 8 to 10, 8 to 12%. And this tetracalcium aluminoferrite, it belongs from 5 to 10%. So this is the general percentage of these Bogue's compound which are present into the cement. So we should remember this. Well, total weight percentage of C3S and C2S should constitute around, if I talk about these two, so the total percentage of these two constitute around 70 to 80%. Okay, so there you can see in the cement, mainly C3S is in the largest quantity, then C2S comes, and then C3A, and then C4AF. So this is the percentage of these Bogue's compound that are being present in the cement. And if I show you the cement clinkers, there you can see the different compound. This blue compound is C2S, and this yellow compound is C3A and C4AF, and this dark brownish, this is C3S. Beside them, there are some other compounds also, but they are not of very much significance. We are mainly concerned with these four compounds as they enhance the property of the cement. So that is why we are mainly concerned with these four compounds. So we will discuss more about them, how they can affect the strength of cement. So in the next part, we will discuss about the cement hydration process. So this is the important, this will be the most important part of this lecture, which is cement hydration. So thank you.